It's the women in basketball talk. Let's go. Shot calling, the shots falling. My crossover leaves the ops crawling. The fans are in awe cause my handles are awesome. If you don't think I'm ballin', then hand me the ball then. Her story will make history. Watch the long shot hit the three, guaranteed victory. You might wanna stick with me, headed for the goal. If you roll, set a pick for me. It's the women in basketball talk. Tune in, all facts, no cap. We could talk about stats. It's the women in basketball talk. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Women in Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Porty. And today we will be discussing the most highly respected and anticipated freshman players in women's college basketball this season. These players have the potential to make a significant impact on their chosen team and shape the future of women's college basketball. Later, we will chop it up with the founders of the Bella STEM program, a program that teaches student athletes STEM using beauty concepts. Before we dive into the top 5 freshman players of this season, let's take a look at some notable freshman players from last season.
Top freshman women's basketball players from last season that caught our attention are Tanaya Latson, who led freshmen in scoring with 21.3 points per game. She became the first ACC freshman ever to lead the league in scoring. Another freshman that stood out from last season is UCLA guard Kiki Rice, who averaged 11.6 points per game last season, and she had 25 games in double-digit scoring. She became the first freshman since Jordan Canada to have 400-plus points, 100-plus assists, and 100-plus free throws made in her inaugural season at UCLA. She became the first Bruin to earn Pac-12 Freshman of the Week since Charisma Osborne. Oregon guard Grace Van Sluten also had an impactful freshman season last year. She averaged 13.2 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, and 1.8 assists per game while shooting 46.5% from the field. Flau'jae Johnson had a standout freshman season last season. She won SEC Freshman of the Year, and she averaged 11 points, 5.9 rebounds per game to help UCLA win their first national championship. Now let's take a look at some top freshman players from this season. Let's start with Juju Watkins. She's one of the top freshman players in college basketball. She's expected to make a big difference for the Trojans this season. She's a versatile guard who can score from anywhere on the court. She's also a great rebounder. In high school, she averaged 10.3 rebounds per game. Her size and agility makes her a great player who can help USC dominate the glass. On the defensive end, she can guard multiple positions. She has the ability to steal and block shots. Juju Watkins is an exceptionally talented freshman basketball player who has already achieved numerous accolades, such as being named Gatorade and USA Today's National Girls Basketball Player of the Year. Additionally, she scored 32 points in her college debut and helped USC Trojans upset number 7 Ohio State. Another freshman player who is expected to make a big impact on the court this season is LSU guard Michaela Williams. She is a 6-foot guard who was ranked number 2 in her recruiting class. She has a proven track record of scoring and rebounding, and her size and athleticism is expected to help her team control the glass. Michaela Williams is a highly talented freshman basketball player who is expected to make a significant contribution to LSU women's basketball team this season. She's a strong defensive player. She's capable of playing multiple positions. She has already established herself as a leader with her zealousness and competitive spirit. Additionally, she has been recognized for her leadership quality when she was named the 2022 Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year. All in all, Williams is a player to watch for when it comes to scoring, rebounding, defensive, and leadership quality. Next, we got Malaysia Puwali. Malaysia is a freshman guard from the University of South Carolina. According to Coach Don Staley, Malaysia is a 5-star freshman who is different from any other freshman she's ever coached. She is a Jack Quick-led guard who can handle the ball well, motors in up-tempo, dishes with flair. She is tough to contain and penetrate into the defense with ease. She's very coachable and has an undeniable desire to be great. Then there was UConn freshman Cadence Samuels. Cadence is a big-name freshman who's expected to be a big part of UConn's success this season. She's 6'2", and she can score from anywhere on the court. She has a great shooting touch. She can also create her own shot off the dribble, so she'll be a great asset to her team. Plus, she's a strong rebounder who averaged 9 rebounds a game in high school. Her size and agility makes her a great rebounder, so UConn should be able to control the glass. Lastly, she's a great defender who could play multiple positions. Her quick hands and feet means that she can disrupt the passing lane and force turnovers. She's also a great shot blocker, so her team can protect the rim. Samuel is a great leader who can set an example for others. She got great work ethic, and she's always willing to win. She was a high-profile recruit who was ranked 35th in the nation by ESPN. Plus, she was named Gatorade 2022 Player of the Year. All in all, Cadence is a great freshman player. She has the ability to score, rebound, defend, and lead, so she's definitely a player to watch for. Lastly, if you're looking for a freshman to make a big impact on Duke women's basketball this season, look no further than Jalen Donovan. She's a great scorer who can score from anywhere on the court. ESPN rates her as the #3 recruit in the country. She's also a great playmaker, and she has great basketball IQ that can help her make smart decisions on the court. On defense, she's a strong player who can guard multiple positions and disrupt the passing lane. Plus, she's a great rebounder, so she can help her team dominate the glass. All in all, she's a great freshman player who could be a great asset to Duke women's basketball this season. In our next segment, we're going to chop it up with the founders of Bella STEM program, so stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Women in Basketball, the #1 podcast show for today's women's basketball fans, with former and current players from your favorite team, discussing all things women's basketball. This is the place for you. You can find us on Spotify, Anchor, Instagram, and Facebook at Let's Talk Women in Basketball.
What's up? I'm Flage, and you're watching Let's Talk Women in Basketball podcast.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Women in Basketball podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Porty. Today, we are joined by two amazing women, Monique Allen and Stacy Miller. They are founders of the Bella STEM program, an innovative program that teaches student athletes STEM using beauty concepts. Monique and Stacy are both passionate about empowering young women and breaking down barriers in STEM education. We are thrilled to have them here today to share their insights and experiences with us. So without further ado, please welcome Monique Allen and Stacy Miller to Let's Talk Women in Basketball podcast. Hi, ladies. How are you guys doing today?
Hi there. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
We're doing great. Thank you again for having us.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Can you tell us a little bit about your STEM program and how it incorporates science, music, and creativity?
Absolutely. So Stacy and I have co-founded STEM Bella, and STEM Bella is a mixed reality, virtual reality product where you can essentially learn about STEM based on beauty concepts. And so it's a virtual chemistry lab that literally relies on the Microsoft HoloLens technology. So when the user puts on their HoloLens, they literally are walking through a world as if they're in a lab. So we're really excited about this because we are trying to get user adoption up, and we're trying to get girls involved by teaching them about STEM using beauty. Stace, would you like to add anything else to that?
I think you covered it all. Yeah, right this minute.
Okay.
I think that's a very unique program because I'm also a teacher and students are not so eager about science. So to incorporate beauty and teach them the science behind beauty, that's amazing. I feel like it will draw a lot of students' attention. So I think that it's a great program. What inspires you to create this program?
Well, it was our pivot during the pandemic. We were working on a platform where we were within the Microsoft stores, and we had gotten an opportunity to present our program within the Microsoft stores, but when the pandemic hit, we all had to be quarantined. And so most of the stores, the flagship stores had shut down. So during the pandemic, we just thought about a pivot that was fell in alignment with the distance learning that was happening during the pandemic. And so we thought about, okay, so we are teaching STEM, and what can we do to make STEM fun and engaging and interesting to young people? And then we thought of using beauty as a concept to have them just recognize everyday things in beauty that they didn't even realize, of course, were scientific or had science behind it. So that was the motivation behind that.
Okay. How does your program teach children about the science of beauty in a fun and interactive way?
So what the program does is there's like 4 workstations when you're walking through it using the HoloLens technology. And for each station, they can create a makeup product. So you can create lipstick, you can create eyeshadow, and at the end, there's also a marketing component where they can learn about being entrepreneurs as well. So we thought it was an amazing opportunity to say, hey, we know you like using makeup, especially, with girls and being athletes. Some of them want to be pretty on the court as well. So why not teach them about the science behind makeup? And then we wanted them to, see that there's an opportunity to be product developers, because you can go out there and create your own lipstick at home or your own foundation at home by just mixing up, some cornstarch and then whatever, your skin tone color is. There is a science behind beauty. And I think more girls need to be aware of that.
Yes.
And young boys.
Yes, definitely. Can you share any specific projects or activities that students engage in during your program?
So when they're engaging in STEM Bella, they are actually being immersed in a cosmetic. It's as if being in a science class, but being walked through the HoloLens. So it's with whatever environment they're in, it creates that virtual chemistry lab virtually. And so when they're moving from station to station, they're basically like chemists, and they're putting together elements that work together. They're learning about the elements, and they're seeing like color combinations and things like that, and also being able to apply them in real time to an avatar that was created on it. So it kind of makes them be their makeup artists, their scientists, and things like that. So each station try to kind of educates them as they go along, but also engages them in a fun way.
Oh, cool. How do you foster creativity and encourage students to think outside the box when it comes to exploring STEM concepts?
Well, we think that because we're not only focused in on beauty, we're also using music. So
Yes.
one of the things, we had a competition where the kids had to create a song based on STEM lyrics. And so
Wow.
that they had to go in and educate their peers. So, especially in, the underserved communities, they are really aching for some of our kids at the university level for us to be involved in STEM, right? So
Yes.
music has always had the hearts and minds of all children. Education cannot just be a one size fits all concept. There are different learners. So we figured if we could, use music, if we can use beauty, this will get to the groups of kids who typically do not enjoy learning about STEM because they find it to be boring. And then
Yes.
it's exciting because, oh, you mean I can create a song based on STEM lyrics? And they rose to the occasion. They did an amazing job prior to the pandemic. We had that competition. And when I tell you they rose to the occasion and those kids really understood what they were teaching to their peers, it was a great opportunity.
Wow. That's amazing. And I do believe that when you incorporate music into a learning environment, it does grab the students' attention. And for some reason, they understand the subject a lot more better through music. So I think that that's really awesome. What impact do you hope to have on children who participate in your STEM program?
Well, first of all, we'd like to be able to spark an interest in science in a different way. A lot of students find science to be boring and, they're just not interested in it, or either it might be a little bit too difficult for them to understand. So basically, the way we created our product was to make sure that the young people are getting the STEM concepts at their level in a fun way at their level. So in that respect, it gives them an opportunity to not only learn, but be exposed to, and also get some ideas about perhaps future career paths that they could take, because they may not have known that they could be colorist, or that they could name the products, or that they could be in, let's just say if it's perfume, that they could be the ones that are creating new fragrances and things like that. And so it's just kind of sparking a different way for them to look at science and find another career path that could be interesting and fun for them.
Most definitely. Can you share any success stories or memorable moments from your program?
Yes, I think our most memorable success story was when we first did our user testing with the actual application itself. We went into the city of San Francisco and selected a school to come out, and the kids really rose to the occasion and did the user testing for the software and gave us some amazing feedback. Because Stacy and I are older, but we're still creators, but this is being used by children. So I think sometimes when you're creating technology for children, you have to include them, into your requirements and things like that. So we figure that that's been the most successful event that we've had, and we've been very excited just about the feedback that we've received and how we can keep moving this forward.
Yes. Do you think about incorporating this STEM program into the school system?
Absolutely. We are, that's one of our main goals, is that we would like for STEM Bella to be indoctrinated into all school districts, to be able to provide a different way of learning and also teaching STEM concepts to young people. If it's a way that they could get into, if it could get into the school districts and really make an impact, that's what the goal is. We'd like for them to be able to understand it, be more interested in it, and why not do it in a fun way? But that is ultimately the goal, to be in the different school districts across the nation.
Wow, I can see that really happening. My school could definitely use it. We have a cosmetology program, and to have you guys come in there and talk to those girls about how to create lipstick and
Yes.
how to create eyeshadow, that would be amazing. What challenges have you faced while running your STEM program, and how have you overcome them?
I would say that our biggest challenge is coming up with a strategic plan to roll this out, within school districts across the nation. We have had to be very creative in terms of how we approach this. And when we hear, teacher coaches like you saying, "Hey, I want this at our school," that's what we want. Our biggest challenge is not so much creating the technology, it's the adoption of the technology and how we can be creative in getting it out there. So we appreciate opportunities like this to talk about it more, so that people know that it's not only out there, but let's embrace it, because these kids are just tired of the one size fits all teaching style. They're aching for something new, and we want to be, just the to plant the seed for, different styles of educating.
Yes. What advice would you give educators or parents who's looking to incorporate STEM approaches in the teaching environment or home environment, if they're looking to incorporate your STEM program into their environment? What advice would you give them?
I would say just make sure that when you're adopting new STEM programs into a learning environment for young people, it has to remain something that's fun, and I think also easy to adopt and understand as far as the young people's level of knowledge, and so being able to have them have something that not only is interesting and easy to use, but also that when you provide them with things that are new, it kind of sparks a different way, because electronics are one thing that they do, but this is like it's kind of on that trajectory, but it just helps the young people have a better understanding. And just when you bring it into the home environment, it just has to be user friendly. I would say that would be the main thing.
I know, Stacy, you have your own communication program as well, correct?
Yes, I do. So I teach student athletes media training, and I've been working at that fearlessly for like a couple of years now. And what we've been able to do now is kind of do a cross-pollination with STEM Bella. So we're working with student athletes, especially the female athlete, because they still want to look pretty. They still want to, do their hair, their makeup and things like that, and still be beasts on the court. So I'm helping them be able to prepare themselves to have endorsements and be able to make themselves not only pretty in front of the camera, but learn the concepts behind STEM. And of course, when you deal with basketball and things like that, there's science in that, velocity, gravity, those type things. And so that's what we're doing now as far as us cross-pollinating STEM Bella with my company, which is called CCA Media Academy.
Okay. Have you got any student athletes onto your program yet?
Yes, I've been working with a local group of students. Ironically enough, they're not female. But I'm working with a group of student athletes, their basketball team in my local schools in Oakland, California at Fremont High School. So I've done a training with them, and I've also been in there's another district here called Richmond High School District. So I'm working with those as well. But we're in the process of speaking with some female student athletes to get them involved on the area of STEM Bella.
Okay, well, female athletes, you heard it from Stacy. She's currently looking for female athletes to join her communication program. So be sure to go on her website to find out more about it. Stacy, could you let them know what's your website for your communication program?
Yes, it is presscom.com, pressacademy.com, PRESS academy.com.
Yes. Well, as you ladies know, this is a show about women's basketball, so I cannot let you guys leave without asking you, who are your top 5 women basketball players of all times?
Okay, I'll give you. Of course, we got to say Lisa Leslie, right? Then we got to say Cheryl Swoops. Not necessarily in any particular order, but we're just naming 5. And then, of course, we have to go with our girl, Sylvia Crowley.
Okay.
We got to go with her. And then, how many was that so far? 3?
That's 3.
That was
3. Cynthia Cooper.
Yes, for sure.
And Maya Moore.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining Let's Talk Women in Basketball podcast. I really appreciate you coming on, sharing about your STEM program. And I truly hope that the student athletes have learned from your program and be willing to find out more about it. Where can student athletes go to learn more about your program? Where can they follow, like, and subscribe?
We are on Instagram. We're listed as STEM Bella. That's our handle, STEMBELLA. And then you can also go to our website, STEMFest. That's STEMMFEST.com.
Okay. Well, thank you guys, and I look forward to chatting with you soon.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Great talk. Thank you.
Great talk as well. That's it for today's episode of Let's Talk Women in Basketball. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Let's Talk Women in Basketball. Catch you next time.